Man, I need to my bus roll about. Man, we moving top shits like silver leaf and shit. Man, we full of the AI over here, man. Kinda link, twist.
Voila! It's your brother, John Mack, aka Mindbender, back in that ass like Marty McFly. Now, since we gonna be in the future, maybe we can visit the PAST a little bit and then delve in some funny bunny shit that I came across that's an exclusive here on Metro 360. You know, the channel that gives you that Now, let's get into it. You see the lady to the left scrolling up slowly? Well, her name is Tracy Danza. Why does that matter? Outside of the fact that Tony Danza and Tupac were pen pals while he was in prison. It's because her name is Tracy Robinson. Her maiden name, at least. Yeah, she was Tony Danza's wife. She also helped coordinate and film some of Tupac's videos and even did a movie for him called Thug Angel that was showcased, I think, with MTV. But let's go one further. You see the lady standing next to Tupac in the other picture? Her name is Tracy Robinson as well. And she has credits working with Tupac as one of his video and film production executives and business partners, along with another guy named Gobi. You may be familiar with him. He was recently on The Art of Dialogue in a great interview, might I add. And my understanding is that, you know, Tupac worked with two ladies named Tracy Robinson. How confusing. Because when you look up one, you find the other. When you look up the other, you find the other one, you know? Strange. Not to mention the fact that the white Tracy Robinson, Tony Danza's wife, had productions in the movie School Days, and I don't remember that at all. But hell, you know, I'd have to watch School Days again. Movie wasn't one of my favorites, you know, although it is a cult classic amongst many. You know, didn't really tickle my motherfucking fancy that much. So, now right here, you looking at pictures of Tony Danza and Tracy Robinson, and to prove my point, you know, because all I did was a screenshot off of Google, you're going to notice that her name is Tracy fucking Robinson, man. I swear, you can't make this kind of shit up. You can't make this kind of shit up. And that leads me to a whole nother thought, you know, with Tony Danza and Tupac. You know, I had broke it down in a way that could only be explained, you know, by a person, you know, with intuitive insight, and only be understood by very few. But when you understand the Masonic ties within the life of Tupac Shakur, and probably many of rappers, I'm sure, many of artists, many of entertainers, you know, the arts are very strange. Let me give you a quick breakdown of what is to come before I finish this commentary. Okay. Now, I call this masterpiece The Double Lives of Tupac Shakur.
Wow.
Now, Do you see what I see? That's the question.
Enemy number one was Tupac. No?
Yeah, but I have the crosshairs and the circle and all that in there just to pinpoint that he's the person I'm talking about. So it has nothing to do with that.
But I see it's almost mirror with one exception.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Dre is an extra person, looks like on Biggie's side, I suppose you can say. And there's no Dr. Dre on Tupac's side.
Okay, let me explain the brackets.
Okay, yeah, please.
This is him in the middle, so this stuff at the top, exclude that your thought process on that for right now.
Oh, okay. I thought they were comparisons. Okay.
So, no, they're not.
Yes, sir.
So now, going down from Tupac, you see the two Tracy Robinsons?
Yes.
So these were both people involved in Tupac's life at some point or the other. On the right side, that's Tony Danza's wife. On the left side, that's Tracy Robinson, who helped him film How Do You Want It video and different projects with Gobi, like Hit 'Em Up and stuff like that.
Okay.
Now, below Tracy Robinson is Corrupt, obviously. His name is Ricardo Brown. Ironically, a guy involved in the Tupac Ayanna Jackson rape case name was Ricardo Brown too. How ironic. Then when you go below Tracy Robinson or Tracy Danza, as known in the Hollywood circles, you have Biggie Smalls, who we know as the notorious B.I.G., another guy named Biggie Smalls that was affiliated with Tupac and his crew, and then Biggie Smalls, the young white guy, who also was an artist who was produced by Tupac's longtime friend and producer, Johnny J.
We all know Johnny J.
Yes. Okay, now at the top, right? Allegedly, Big Dre was in the car with Tupac Shakur. Was in the car that shot at Tupac Shakur with Orlando Anderson, right? But Big Dre, ironically, looks like Biggie.
Yeah, very much.
And then, obviously, Tupac was on Death Row Records, which at one time was owned by Suge Knight and Dr. Dre.
Right.
So just the name Dre alone, these are people that he's affiliated with double names of the same name. Dre.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie, yeah. Do you see what I'm going with this? So there's what I'm not saying that there's a connection there, but I'm just saying how fucking ironic.
Yes.
On top of the fact that now it's coming out that Snoop, Dash, Trey D, I think even Badass, was on a compilation album with Big Dre.
When?
Oh, on a Big Dre album. Or like a album he put out like back in 96, 97.
Who was that other artist that came out back then and he sounded like Biggie and he was a bigger guy as well, remember?
Gorilla Black.
Yes.
But he wasn't during that time.
It wasn't?
No, it was way after Biggie.
Okay.
Oh, way after. Biggie had been long gone and dead. Gorilla Black came
You're
out
right.
about
It was around 2001 to
2005.
Okay. All right.
I would say.
Yeah, wow. Quite a bit later.
Yeah, way later.
Sorry. Okay.
Nah, but he had some similar looks to Biggie. He had a sound like Biggie. But
yes.
No tie-ins. Yeah. Although he was from Compton, which
and
is strange.
he was a pretty decent
he is from Compton.
Artist. So.
Yeah, he's kind of strange.
Yeah.
And then on the top left, you have Tupac Shakur. You have a guy named Bashim who played the rest of Above the Rim when Tupac went to jail, allegedly. And then you have Devin Clark, who some say was one of the doubles at the MGM Grand the night that Tupac was killed. You know, when he walks by the guy and they saying that that's Devin Clark. And there are pictures with Pac and Devin Clark together. So it's very strange. Not including the guy who played Tupac in the video, I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, another strange anomaly. So that's all I was trying to show you was the demographic of this weird
Duality.
cliche and collage of Tupac duality, people in his life and himself.
Relationships.
Yeah, so if you have actors playing you and you're an actor, what does that do?
Your actor has to have that are playing his people.
You see what I'm saying? Tupac had actors that was playing him while he was alive
I believe it.
as everyday performers like doubles.
So he could be many places at one time.
You know, I once heard that
That's how
Saddam
you
Hussein
can
did that too. He had a lot of
quadruple
doubles.
up your money or confuse the hell out of your damn enemies.
Yeah, yeah. Strange, strange. Voila! Now let's get back in that ass with this Dan pack. Yeah, what the fuck is a Dan pack, anyways? Well, we gonna figure out what Dan pack is. While not all Masons are Shriners, all Shriners are Masons. Therefore, a man must become a master Mason before he becomes a Shriner. Now, why is that of any interest? Well, let's take a look here. What is a stanza? Stanza. Yeah, a stanza. A stanza is a group of lines forming the basic reoccurring metrical unit in a poem or a verse. Soak that in. And I'm going to keep rolling. Now, where I got the word stanza in my head from was I looked at the relationship between Tony Danza and Tupac Shakur and magically came up with the word stanza based on the last letter in the first part of the last name of Tupac Shakur, the T in the first part of the letter or the words Tupac Shakur or Tony Danza. And you can guess where I got the A from, the second letter in Tupac's first name. I know you can't make this kind of shit up, you know. The third letter in Tony's name is an N, right? Okay. The fourth letter in his last name is a Z, and the second letter in the last name of both of them is an A. That is a metrical code. I know. Crazy, right? You got the name Tony, which is two, T-O. You got the name Tupac, which is two, T-U. Wow. That's crazy. So, obviously by mixing those letters around, I came to a conclusion with the name Sudan involved, right? Sudan, but spelled S-T-U in the Asiatic way. You see, in the American lexicon, Sudan would just be S-U-D-A-N. But around the world and in other countries, grammatically, the S is put in front of the T when any word is spelled. Now, with that being said, I looked into it, to find out if there was
love with many women throughout the years, but he's only walked down the aisle with his two ex-wives, Rhonda Yeoman and Tracy Robinson. His first marriage was in 1970 when he said, "I do," to Rhonda. The Broadway star met his former wife while he was studying at the University of Dubuque in Iowa, where he received a bachelor's in 1972, the Gazette reported. After tying the knot, Tony and his college sweetheart welcomed their first child, Mark Danza, in 1971. They divorced 3 years later in 1974. More than a decade later, however, the duo reconciled and exchanged vows once again in 1983, according to Glamour Path. That same year, the good cop actor and Rhonda had their second child together, Gina Danza. Once again, though, Tony and his ex called it quits in 1985, according to reports. Fortunately, it wasn't long before Tony found love with his second spouse, Tracy. The celebrity autobiography star and the film producer said yes to forever in 1986, and just 1 year later, they expanded the Hunks family when their daughter, Catherine Danza, was born in 1987. Tony completed his brood when Emily Danza arrived in 1993. Tony and Tracy were married for 15 years until the star filed for divorce in March 2011, citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. The exes were technically separated for a few years, but they worked through it and were still together, a source revealed. The insider added, "Not sure what happened. They decided to make their split official." As TMZ reported, their divorce was finally settled after nearly 2 years in February 2013. Tony's first wife, Rhonda, is a graduate of the University of Dubuque, where she met her ex-hubby. Though she was romantically involved for years and shares 2 children with the beloved sitcom star, Rhonda has lived a relatively private life. In fact, it's unclear exactly what she does for work or if she's found love since their split. However, Glamour Path reported she has a net worth of an estimated $200,000. Tracy Robinson. Like her former spouse, Tracy is an actress and film producer. For IMDb, she has 1 acting credit in 1988's School Days. In 1996, she made her debut as a producer when she helped create Tupac's music video for How Do You Want It, which featured artists Casey and JoJo. She later produced the 2002 documentary Tupac Shakur, Thug Angel, as well as Tupac Versus in 2004. In terms of her
Tony Danza, one love, big baby, one love. That's the homie. Tony Danza wrote me like 3 times, twice or something, while I was locked down. Real good, uplifting letters. I'll never forget it. I consider him to be a friend. It was real, real cool.
So you've never talked to him before?
Never before. He knew the album and everything. So I'm a big fan now. Now I'm Tony Danza all day. Nobody can say nothing bad about Tony Danza or Taxi or Who's the Boss. Nothing he did. I start swinging.
I was going to say, did you catch up on your Taxi episodes and your Who's the
No,
Boss
I was a
episodes?
big fan anyway. I had to watch all that anyway. It was just a surprise that he was, getting at me like that.
West Side.
As the world remembers and mourns the loss of Papa G, we look back at Papa G's role in connecting Tupac and Tony Danza. Serving 11.5 months behind bars, Tupac had many of his supporters, including actor Tony Danza. Surprisingly, Tupac would receive a letter from the Brooklyn-born actor.
He's in jail. He's got 5 bullet holes in him. I was like, I can't believe this guy's such a good actor. And then I was listening to the radio and I heard Dear Mama. I wrote him a letter and I said, dear Tupac. I said, maybe, I know you can't be in the business you're in, you can't be a goody two-shoes, but you have such a big impact on the kids to have a positive impact, So I wrote him another letter. And then he wrote back again. He said, we had like a little pen pal thing for half a minute.
So, apparently Tony Danza and Pac, would become pen pals and, write each other back and forth while Tupac was in prison, ironically.
One night I was at a movie premiere, and I was standing with my kids, and all of a sudden it went dark, like the light got blocked out. Like, look, this giant, bodyguard. Tupac wants to see you, so I went and, I went over and said hello.
you're nominated for the Grammys, but you're also a presenter. I got this note the other day about you being a presenter on it. Also, I'm trying, the bit about Tony Danza, I'm trying to get them together so we could do some kind of thing where you guys meet at the Grammys, because he was real supportive of you, right?
Yeah, but it should just be some natural stuff.
Some natural shit, yeah.
No
The
comment.
Grammys used to be all straight-looking folks with suits, everybody looking tired. We need to shock the people. So let's shock the people. When I was in jail, a lot of people supported me. Jasmine Guy, Jada Pinkett, Mickey Rollins. He just wrote me funny stories. But the name that sticks out of my head the most, and I keep saying this, is Tony Danza.
I know you can't be in the business you're in, you can't be a goody two-shoes, but you have such a big impact on the kids to have a positive impact, So he wrote me back.
When I got his letter, I was like, whoa. I was screaming out to everybody, guess who wrote me?
He said, thanks for understanding me.
To me, he is the bomb forever. I will be his #1 fan forever.
We had like a little pen pal thing for half a minute.
The letters that he wrote back.
Yeah.
Did you save them?
Yeah.
We getting money, Tony. We are getting money. Did you frame them?
Yeah.
Tony Danza wrote me like 3 times while I was locked down. Real good, uplifting letters. I'll never forget it. I consider him to be a friend. He knew the album and everything. Now I'm Tony Danza all day. Nobody can say nothing bad about Tony Danza. One love, big baby. One love. That's the homie.